In this session, I'm going to talk about breeding and types of breeding. So, in the last session, I have already given some information on animal breeding. Of course, I'm continuing the same, okay, animal breeding. So, under that, we shall see about, okay, the breeding. So, here, how can I define this breeding? So, here, the breeding is a method of crossing a male and a female to produce offspring with desirable characters. Is a method of crossing a male and a female to produce offspring with the desirable characters. Okay, I'll take an example, and as it is a season of mangoes, I like to take a example of mango. So I have two trees. One is producing bigger mangoes, but its sweetness is not to that extent, and another one is producing smaller fruits, and its sweetness is very good. Now, okay, I don't want these two characters to be present separately. I want these two characters to be present in the same individual. Now, for that, I need to cross these two parents, okay, and see the offspring with these two characters present together. So that's what the offspring with the desirable character. So what are those desirable characters? The size and the sweetness are the characters that I actually wanted to see in the plant. Okay, now for that, okay, I will be crossing those two parents. So that is actually nothing but, okay, breeding. Now the breeding is classified into two types. Okay, one I call it natural breeding, and another one called artificial breeding. Natural breeding and another one artificial breeding. Now under the natural breeding, okay, I have two different types. One I call it inbreeding, and another one called outbreeding. Okay, now this outbreeding is again classified into three more types. One I call it outcrossing, okay, then cross breeding, and then interspecific hybridization. Okay, right. So now this is the outcrossing. Of course, we'll see all these things in detail. What actually is this inbreeding? What actually is this outbreeding in detail? Okay, okay. That time I'll tell you with examples and so. Now, artificial breeding includes artificial insemination. So it includes artificial insemination. Now let's look at, okay, the first one, inbreeding. Okay, so as the name suggests, inbreeding, which means this is a breeding procedure that we will do it, okay, within the same breed. So first let's look at the definition of inbreeding. Here is mating of more closely related individuals. So mating of, okay, more closely related individuals within the same breed, okay, for up to 4 to 6 generations. right? So it's a mating of more closely related individuals within the same breed for up to 4 to 6 generations. So now how I'm going to perform, okay, inbreeding. So for this I'm going to, okay, select a male that has, okay, some special characters. Okay, so those characters which we want, okay, say suppose right, so this male has a capability to produce a very, okay, good quality of offspring, so then it is a right, right, desirable character, and the one with that desirable character I call it a superior male. Okay, so here that superior male will be crossed with a, okay, superior female. Okay, so now let's see here, this superior male, say it has a, okay, a desirable character like disease resistance. Okay, so it has disease resistance, whereas, okay, this superior female is a very good, okay, milk yielder, right? Now after crossing I'll get, okay, offspring here. Okay, say suppose I have get a male, then female, okay, female, male, and a male. So like this, after some generations I have obtained, okay, the males and females here. Now again crossing between these two, okay, will help in producing some more, okay, offspring. So male, okay, female, and a female, like, you know what you say. Now this is what we call actually inbreeding. So here is a, right, closely related individual. So these are, okay, closely related individuals, and breeding, okay, within them is what we call it, okay, inbreeding. Now once these offsprings are produced, we will see whether any offspring, so I want the females to have both these characters. Okay, so the females what I get, they should be good milk yielders and also should be capable of resisting diseases. Okay, if it is not able to resist the diseases, even though it is a good milk yielder, it can die because of some disease, then obviously it is a, okay, loss to the farmer. So I want these characters to be present in the, okay, offspring. So anyway, so this inbreeding is just like a self-pollination, okay, in plants. Okay, now here a continuous, you know what I call, inbreeding can result in a problem called inbreeding depression. So let's see, continuous inbreeding, okay, results in reduction of fertility and productivity. Okay, so I can call with a simple word, okay, this whole statement as just loss of, okay, hybrid vigor. Okay. So continuous inbreeding results in reduction of fertility and productivity. So that is loss of hybrid vigor. Now, right. So this is what actually we call it inbreeding depression. We call it inbreeding depression. So continuous, okay, mating between the related, closely related individuals. So these are very closely related individuals, okay, and again, okay, crossing among them, okay, and then producing another, okay, generation. Okay, so what we call it inbreeding, and that will result in this problem of okay, inbreeding depression. Now this inbreeding depression, okay, can be avoided. Okay, so how, so if inbreeding depression, occurs, then the animals with the inbreeding depression are I'm sorry, right, are okay, crossed with that unrelated superior animals. Okay, now if you see here, okay, a particular animal, so say suppose this after several generations, I told it should be okay, around should go up to 4 to 6 generations, and after that you see a female is having that, okay, inbreeding depression, then that should be crossed with okay, an unrelated individual. So here, and okay, another cross in which you have male, okay, female, okay, male, right. So now I'm going to cross this female with this, okay, male, right, and see the progeny here. So in this case, okay, the progeny will get recovered, the progeny will not be having the inbreeding depression. So the point is that inbreeding depression will not be lost, I mean will not be lost in the, okay, this female once it is born with that problem. Okay, so that will be that, okay, only avoided in the next generation by crossing with some unrelated, okay, superior animals. So this is one problem, okay, that disadvantage in inbreeding. Now we shall see some advantages of this inbreeding. So there are actually advantages and also disadvantages of inbreeding. So advantages and disadvantages of inbreeding. Okay, so first we shall see advantages. Okay, so what those advantages? So here advantages, it induces, okay, homozygosity. So it induces a homozygosity or genetic purity, right. So all those genes in those organisms will be of okay, in a homozygous condition. In that case we call it a homozygosity. Okay, so like these words you may feel difficult in understanding because we have skipped the chapter principles of inheritance and variation. So once I complete the chapter, you will easily understand all these words: homozygosity, what actually is genetic okay, purity, and why the genes have to be present in homozygous condition. Okay, so this actually the homozygous condition we can obtain by doing, okay, these inbreeding, okay, processes only, right. The next one is it helps in preserving, so it helps in preserving good qualities of the breed. It preserves the good qualities, okay, of the breed. Helps in preserving the good qualities of the breed. Okay, now let's look at, okay, disadvantages. Okay, so we'll see what are all those disadvantages also. Already I mentioned one disadvantage is that it causes inbreeding depression. Okay, so it causes inbreeding depression. So it causes inbreeding depression. Okay, okay, right. The next one, right, it actually can also result in the expression of, okay, undesired heredity characters. So it can result in expression of, right, undesired, okay, hereditary characters. Okay, we know that in case of diploid organisms there will be, okay, two uh, alleles, okay, for a right character, and out of that in some cases both may get expressed, okay, in some cases only one of it will get expressed. So say in which one is expressing and another is not expressing, then the one which is not expressed is what we call a recessive, okay, recessive gene, I mean recessive allele, right. Now usually those recessive alleles will get expressed when they are present in homozygous condition, means if both the alleles are of recessive type then it gets expressed. Okay, of course I understand that you are finding difficult in understanding what actually I'm telling about all these alleles and all, because we have skipped a chapter, as I told, okay, principles of inheritance and variation, where we will be studying about all these, okay, traits, okay, the characters and the alleles, okay, what actually are alleles, what actually are genes and all. Now there also we'll study about this homozygosity, or what I call it genetic purity, and this is obtained by self pollination in case of plants, okay, right. That we have seen in case of sexual reproduction in flowering plants, when I was talking about artificial hybridization, okay. Anyway, right, so this disadvantages, one such disadvantage is, okay, it can express undesired hereditary characters, and if it is the case, then the animal with that undesired hereditary characters is of no use. So you can eliminate them, okay, and select only the one with the best characters, right. So this is all about inbreeding, okay. Then we shall see about outbreeding, right. So the next one we shall see is about outbreeding, okay. So outbreeding is the breeding of unrelated, okay, animals. So it's a, okay, breeding of unrelated animals, and okay, I'm not going to define it further, okay. And this okay, outbreeding is again classified into, right, three types, okay. So first I'll talk about cross breeding. So we know that this, what I call outbreeding has been classified, okay, into three types, okay, outcrossing, crossbreeding, and interspecific hybridization, okay. Now first we shall see about this okay, crossbreeding. Now what is this crossbreeding? So is a, right, of course, a breeding process, and is a cross between superior male and a superior female of, okay, different different breeds. Whereas in case of inbreeding, we have seen it will be within the close related individuals of the same breed, okay. So there we have called it inbreeding. But when coming to this okay, crossbreeding is a cross between two different breeds, okay. In simple, is a cross between, okay, I'll just mention here, is a cross between two different breeds. Again, I'm again reminding you that okay, different breeds are not different species. So all those different breeds are of same okay species. Like if I take an example of dog, so how many varieties of dogs you might have seen? So what do you think? All those dogs are of different species? No. All the dog types, whatever you're seeing, like a pug is a dog that comes for Vodafone advertisements. Okay, Labrador. Okay, you will find okay doodles and so many. There are more than 200 okay breeds of dogs, and all those are the same species. Okay, the Canis familiaris, right? They are not different species. So here I'm going the same thing, which the cross breeding, which simply means cross between two different breeds. So I'll be explaining by taking a few examples here. Okay, so one, so with this cross breeding, actually we have what I call produced something called current Swiss. Okay, so this current Swiss is a cow, okay, and is good milk yielder. And how we have produced this okay current Swiss? This is produced by okay, it is produced by crossing okay two different breeds. So one breed is okay brown Swiss. So one is a brown Swiss, and this brown Swiss is a one that's from okay America. Okay, and this is again a what I call right the male from this brown Swiss breed they have taken, and then they have crossed with okay Indian breed. They crossed with an Indian breed, okay, and that is the Sahiwal breed. So earlier I have given you some indigenous or desi breeds. Okay, so this brown Swiss and the Indian breed they crossed. So when they have okay crossed okay these okay two, they obtained okay and another okay variety, what I call it current Swiss. Okay, right, and this is actually produced at or developed at okay NDRI. Okay, so that stands for right National Dairy Research Institute. I'll write here National Dairy Research okay Institute. This is located in Haryana. Okay, so there they did crossing of two different breeds. So this current Swiss, that is what I'll mention it as exotic breed. So exotic breed is crossed with Indian breed, and they have produced another variety, what we call it current Swiss. And this current Swiss is as I told, it's a very good okay milk yielder. Now one more example we'll see is okay they produced okay a sheep called Isardel. Okay, so they produced right a sheep. Okay, so Isardel. So this is a breed of sheep. So this is a new breed, and this is produced by again crossing two different breeds. Okay, so this is also produced by crossing two different breeds. So right? That is one called Bicanary Eves. Okay, so this Bicanary Eves, is a Indian breed, so which is very much important for wool production. So this Hisar Dale is the one, okay, good at wool production. Okay, so good at wool production. Now this Bicanary is a Desi breed, okay, and we have crossed with an exotic breed, okay, named Merino, okay, Ram, right? So okay, Merino Rams. This is a exotic breed. So by crossing the Bicanary Eves and the Merino Rams, they have obtained this another breed called Hesardel. Okay. So this is the one that may be having the finest and softest wool. So it has finest and softest wool. So they produced this new variety, okay, by crossing, right, these two, okay, different breeds, okay, one from India and one from okay, outside the India, and then they produced this variety that will be producing the finest and softest wool. Next one, let's see about, okay, outcrossing. Okay, so outcrossing is a cross, right, between cross between two animals, okay, within the same breed. So cross between two animals within the same breed but having no common ancestor. So they should not have, okay, common ancestor, okay, on either side of, okay, pedigree, right, for up to 4 to 6 generations, for up to 4 to 6 generations. So okay, so this is what I'm going to take it as a definition: cross between two animals within the same breed but having no common ancestor on either side of the pedigree. So pedigree is the family history, okay, which we might have understood it in the same chapter, principles of inheritance and variations, okay, right? So we did not deal that chapter online because of some difficulties, because many students will not be understanding, okay, so for that purpose I did not deal with the principles of inheritance and variations, which we will be dealing only once you all come back, okay, to the college. Okay, so for that purpose I greatly regret with the inconvenience that you are getting while I'm talking with this chapter, okay, and with the special words like this, right? Okay, fine. We'll see the pedigree for up to, okay, up to 4 to 6 generations here. Now we'll see here means you crossed, okay, and then you have some offspring, okay, right, crossing with have resulted in, then right, you crossed with this with another male, and then you have produced, okay, so male female, and then crossed with another female. So like this, this is a generation, okay, one, right? Okay, so this is generation one, and this is okay, generation 2, and it goes on, okay, generation 3 and 4. Okay, now after that we have to see that one male from here and somewhere, okay, and another female, but they should not have the common ancestor. So if you say here, right, so for this female, okay, for this female and for this male, okay, the common ancestor will be their parents, okay, and their even the grandparents. Okay, so that common ancestor, you should not get it on either side of the pedigree, okay, for up to 4 to 6 generations. So you have to make some, okay, 4 to 6 generations and see completely they are, okay, unrelated, okay, on either side of the pedigree for 4 to 6 generations. Okay, then those individuals will be crossed. Okay, so maybe this one and somewhere after 4 to 6 generations, and they should not have any common ancestor, so you can cross them. If it is the case, then we call it, okay, outcrossing here. Now this outcrossing is the best method of breeding for animals that are below average in productivity of milk. Okay, so I'll mention here, so outcrossing is best method, okay, is best method for animals with okay, less productivity of milk. So by doing this, you can increase the productivity of milk in the, okay, offsprings here. Then here, this is the one outcrossing. So when I'm talking about inbreeding, I told you that continuous inbreeding can result in the production of in condition called inbreeding depression. So okay, so inbreeding depression can be overcome, okay, by outcrossing. So a single outcross can make, okay, the removal of inbreeding depression, right, in the offspring. Okay, so this is about, okay, outcrossing. Now of course there are some advantages. We shall see some advantages. Already one advantage I have mentioned here, that it can, okay, remove the inbreeding depression, okay, in the offspring. So we'll see some other, okay, significances of outcrossing here. So this outcrossing induces, okay, heterozygosity, whereas inbreeding induces homozygosity. So this one induces heterozygosity, and which means it is actually producing greater variations. Okay, the next one, it also increases, okay, increases vigor and vitality. So it increases the vigor and vitality of the progeny or of the individuals. Okay, so that is one significance. The next one, we will be able to produce hybrid varieties, okay, with better qualities. So can produce hybrid varieties with okay, better qualities. Hybrid varieties with better qualities. Okay, then also it helps in producing the offspring with the disease resistance. Okay, so can also help in production of individuals with disease resistance. Okay, so these are some significances of outcrossing. The next one we shall see about interspecific hybridization. See about interspecific hybridization. So here interspecific hybridization is okay a cross between unrelated. So here we are going to do the cross between different species, or I'll say cross between different species. Okay, so cross between different species, what we call it inter, as here the meaning inter means in between, and that specific, which means species. So simply the cross between different species is what we call interspecific hybridization. Okay, we'll see this interspecific hybridization with some examples. We were able to produce an individual called mule. Okay, so this mule is produced when a male donkey is crossed with a female horse. So a male donkey and a female horse resulted in the production of mule. So this mule, of course, this donkey is fertile. Okay, it has the capability of reproducing, and the horse is also fertile. Okay, but after crossing these are a little closely related species, the donkey and horse, and when we have crossed these two, it has resulted in the production. Not all interspecific hybridization will result in the production of offspring. Okay, so you cannot cross with the fish eggs with the human sperms, right? They may not develop at all, and in fact fertilization may not take place at all. There are so many conditions that come in that case. Here not all interspecific hybridizations will result in the production of a offspring. So here, as they are closely related species, we were able to get, but there are some problems. What is that? This mule will not be able to reproduce further. So mule is a sterile individual, so it cannot pass those whatever the characters it has to the generation. So it has the characters of donkey and also characters of horse, but it is not capable of reproducing. It's a sterile here. Now we reversed it. We have taken a female donkey and crossed with a male horse. So when we have taken a female donkey and crossed with a male horse, what we obtained is Hinny. So this is also a sterile individual and not capable of reproducing further. Right. So these are done for some purposes. So we want the characters of donkey that has ability to carry heavy goods, and horse that has the power of running, and so want those characters to be in one individual, and they did it. And but the problem is that mules, to produce the mules you have to again cross in the same way, right? And these mules will not undergo reproduction and again produce so and so. Like this, we also have gone with the crossing the tiger and lion. So in this case, the offspring we obtained is a liger, and we know that tiger and lion are closely related species. And now in this case, the liger, we have come to know it's fertile. It's not sterile. It is capable of reproducing, and it has features of tiger and lion, and it's very much bigger when you compare with both the parents. So you can get some extra information by googling it, You can even watch the pictures of liger, even the pictures of mule, and the pictures of henny. Okay, so just type in the Google, you will come to know about all those things, and you may get even some extra information, right? So this is all about the natural way of breeding.